Good morning, grade 8s, and welcome to today. Today is Wednesday. A reminder that tomorrow, Thursday, you've got a day of catching up, and then on Friday, we will see you again online. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So today, this is what you need to do. I'll take you through step by step. Tomorrow, you've got a day of catching up, and then Friday, we will see you again online. Okay, let's have a look at what we're going to do today. Yesterday, we did the surface area and the volume of the rectangular prism, and it looked like a box or a swimming pool or a fish tank or anything like that. Then we also had, so for today, we're going to have a look at the surface area. Let's just have a look at the formula for the surface area separate to the volume. So first of all, if you look at the surface area is the sum of all the areas of the faces. So what this shape is made up out of is, can you see it's a triangle there in front? That would be duplicated as a triangle there at the back. They are exactly the same area. So if you work out the area of the one triangle, you can just multiply it by 2 because they are duplicated, they are the same size, which will give them the same area. And then this triangular prism is also made up of 1, 2, 3 rectangles, 2 on each side and 1 lying there at the bottom. Okay, and we're going to have a closer look as to how we work it out. But basically what you can remember as the surface area is the area of the triangle times 2 plus the area of the rectangle number 1 plus the area of rectangle number 2 plus the area of rectangle number 3. Okay, the volume also, the volume of any three-dimensional shape. So always you have to work out the area of the base of that shape. So how do I know what the base is? This shape is not lying on its base. The base is that you place down what lies at the bottom of that shape must be duplicated on top as well. So how must this triangular prism lie so that it's lying on its base? Yes, that's correct. It must be lying on its triangle. Okay, that is the base, because if you've got the triangle at the bottom, that would be duplicated on top as well. So a triangle at the bottom and a triangle on top, that is your base. So you work out the area of your base times what it pops out with, what length it comes out with. Okay, and that is that big H over there. All right, so it's the area of the triangle times what it pops out with. Okay, and we know that the area of a triangle is half times base times height, and that then you times by the area, or the length that it pops out with, and that is that big height. But we'll have a look just now. Okie dokes. Okay, there's your shape. We're going to give that triangles, one of the legs is 5 meters, the base is 6, and one of the other slanting sides are also 5 meters. You've got your big height there is 8. Okay, so I've somewhat jumped into it. Sorry, I've opened up the next slide. Okay, so what this triangle is made up out of is 1, 2 triangles, all right? And I've just enlarged it over there, or I've written it out separately. Can you see that the base is still 6 and the slanting side is still 5? What I did though is I added our height, and that is what we need, especially if we need to work out the area of the triangle. Okay, because it's half times base times height, and the height is always perpendicular to the base. So the height is always meeting the base at a 90-degree angle. So when you are struggling to find the height, go and look, where is that little sign? Where's this little 90 degrees angle? And that is your base, and it meets the base at a 90-degree angle. So that should be your height. Okay, the height is always perpendicular to the base. Means the height always meets the base at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so what I need to work out is height. So please remember, how do I do that? With any 90-degree triangle, you must immediately think, haha, Pythagoras. Pythagoras. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're not going to work in the full triangle because that doesn't give you a 90-degree angle. We have to work in half of that triangle. Okay, so we're going to split that triangle in two like that. We've got our 90-degree, and remember what Pythagoras says. It's the two sides touching the 90 degrees squared, added together will give you the hypotenuse. So it's height squared plus, now what is just this little piece over here? It's 3. Okay, so if that whole base is 6, half of it would be 3. So 3 squared plus height squared gives you the hypotenuse squared, 5 squared. So if you work that out, 5 squared minus 3 squared will give you the height squared. So you can work it out on a piece of paper, or I hope by now that you can start recognizing the beautiful right triangle 3, 4, 5 measurements. Okay, so the height is 4 there, over there, 4, because the base here is half of that base is 3. So 3, 4, 5. 5 is always the biggest side, which is the hypotenuse. Okay, but we have spoken about Pythagoras, and I hope you remember that because it's very, very important going forward, especially working out the area of these 3D shapes. Okay, so let's call it the front triangle, the back triangle. Okay, I'm just adding those sides as reference so that I can have a look at them if I'm, trying to see the length and the breadth. Okay, so now we've got the two triangles. I'm still going to work it out just now. I'll show you. So just for the rectangle, so let's call that the front face. Okay, so for rectangle number 1, which is the purple arrow there showing, can you see that the breadth or the length is 8 meters and the breadth is 5 meters? Okay, length times breadth. So now for the rectangle at the back there, let's call it the back face. Rectangle 2, you've got also length is 8, breadth is 5. Okay, I hope you could see that. I'm going to show you another way just now how to identify what is the length and the breadth. Let's just have a look at the bottom face triangle. Rectangle number 3, it has a length of 8, but a breadth of 6. Okay, so if you didn't know how to do that, if you couldn't really see what was going on or how you can see the length and the breadth, okay, always see this guy. This is the main kahuna. Okay, he's the boss. And he marries all 3 these lovely ladies sitting here around the triangle. Okay, so this one is the distance that gets multiplied by all 3 of these to calculate the rectangles. Can you see? The length times the breadth will give you that first one. Length, the big boss, times by the other length of that triangle. Big boss for the last rectangle times the last side there on that triangle. So the main kahuna, can you see, sits here at the bottom, 8, 8, 8, gets multiplied by 5, 5, and 6. All right. Okay, that's another way of remembering how to work out the surface area. Okay, so the surface area of the two triangles, I just did it quickly. Please, you can stop and work it out and just check for sure that you understand it very nicely. But in this right angle triangle, you're going to make this 3 squared plus height squared is equal to 5 squared. And you will get height is 4 meters. All right. Okay, so then now you zoom out. You're not going to just use half of that triangle. You're now going to use the full triangle to work out the area of one of these, times it by 2 because there's 2 identical triangles, and that would give you the total area of both these triangles. Okay, so half times base, half of the base is, what is it? 3, yes, and 3 times 4, we worked out the height there is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 duplicated because it's 2 triangles gives you 24 meters squared. Okay, so those are the 2 triangles. Then the 3 rectangles. Remember, the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. So 8 times 5 gave you 40. 8 times 5 gave you 40. And 8 times 6 gave you 48. add them all three together, gives you a total for all the rectangles as 128 meters squared. How do you get the total area then? You add the area of the rectangles to the area of the two triangles, and voila, you've got 152 meters squared. Okay, please remember when we work with area, you write it up as meters squared. All right, let's have a look at the volume. The volume is half times base times height times the big height that it pops out with. So again, if you've got this triangular prism with all the following sides, there I've worked it out very nicely for you. Again, height squared plus 3 squared should give you 5 squared. And your reason there, Pythagoras, is very, very important. So height squared is equal to 5 squared. Bring that positive 3 squared over and becomes negative 3 squared. So height squared is equal to 16. The inverse operation of square is square root. So if you square root that h squared, you will just be left with a h because they will cancel each other out. And the square root of 16 is 4, because what you do on the one side, you have to do on the other side. So the height there is 4. Okay, so let's have a look. Volume is half times base times height. We've got the height now and multiplied by the big height, the big boss over there. Okay, so that is the area of the triangle times what it pops out with. So half times the base here is 6 times the 4. We worked out the height, there's 4. Half times 6 times 4 times big H, the big boss, times 8. And that gives you 96 meters cubed. Volume, please remember we write our answer in meters or centimeters or units cubed. Quickly having a look at your homework, calculate the surface area and the volume of the following three shapes. Here's question 1. You will also find these in your in the to-do list. I've copied and pasted it over there as well. First of all, okay, for all three of these shapes, please calculate the surface area and the volume. Okay, so there you've got your triangle 1. Can you see you've got your base and your height, because your base and your height always meet at a perpendicular angle, which is that 90-degree angle. So very important, the hint. Firstly, find the length of the hypotenuse with the use of Pythagoras so that you can find the surface area of this rectangular prism. Okay, so remember, you can just go look at your formulas again. And how do you work out this length over here? By using Pythagoras. Okay, question 2, the same, it's just turned another way around. There's your base, there's your height, okay? But to work out the surface area, remember, because this main kahuna here gets multiplied by that one, and this side over here. So we need this side, and we work it out again with Pythagoras. Okay, then question number 3, a little bit of a different one. If this one's 17, it's indicated there as well. It's also 17. So we need the height over there. So this is almost the same as the example that we did. Please draw in a 90-degree triangle by splitting this triangle in two. And then you're going to say, okay, so over here the base is going to be, if you work with half of that, it would be 8. So 17 squared minus 8 squared will give you the height squared. Okay, so hint, you have to go and insert, or you have to draw your little triangle like that, split it into 8, 8, break the base up into 2, 8 and 8, and your height, that is what you are looking for. Very much the same as your example that we did in this video. Okay, that is it, grade 8. You must have a wonderful day, and we will see you on Friday again. Cheerio!